What happens when a franchise finally admits that their loudest star isn't actually their most valuable player? Angel Reese just got that reality check when the Chicago Sky named Kamilla Cardoso as Player of the Year instead of her. After months of Reese openly criticizing teammates and pushing for roster changes, the organization sent a message that couldn't be more direct. This decision exposed where Reese truly stands in Chicago, and why her future with the Sky may be far more uncertain than fans expected. Do you think the Sky should move on from Angel Reese? Drop your take in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what happens next.
Making a lot of noise right now as the Chicago Sky have put this out. Now, this is from the Chicago Sky. Another one, thank you. Kamilla Cardoso has been named the Player of the Year, 40 games played, 15 times Player of the Game, 6 times Player of the Week, 2 times Player of the Month. Congratulations, Kamilla Cardoso. Okay, and then they had this for her.
Angel Reese's Chicago Tribune interview pulled the curtain back completely, and what fans heard stunned the locker room. Reese openly stated that landing good players and great players was non-negotiable for her future. She made it clear she wasn't accepting a repeat of this season and demanded major roster upgrades. These weren't subtle signals or careful wording. Reese publicly questioned the quality of her own teammates, positioning herself as the magnet who deserved better help. For veteran players who had spent years grinding in the WNBA, being publicly dismissed by a second-year player crossed a line. If you're feeling the tension already, hit like. This situation only escalates.
What Angel Reese had to say. I'm not settling for the same shit we did this year. Oh boy. Reese told the Tribune, we have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm willing and wanting to play with the best. And however I can help to get the best here, that's what I'm going to do this offseason. So it's going to be very, very important this offseason to make sure we attract the best of the best, because we can't settle for what we have this year. Overhaul this roster.
The timing couldn't have been worse. Courtney Vandersloot was still recovering from an ACL injury when Reese openly questioned her age and dependability. A veteran who had given everything to the league was suddenly framed as expendable. Vandersloot responded firmly, saying her age wasn't a limitation and that she would return stronger, just as she always had. Reese's comments weren't really about improving the team. They centered on her belief that she needed better pieces to elevate her own image. This wasn't team-first leadership. It was ego wrapped in competitive language. And the locker room felt it immediately.
Players, and I don't know what that will attract that. Maybe the practice facility will attract that. We'll see. But I think the priority is being able to convince free agents that this is an organization that is going in the right direction. I think, honestly, it would be a leap of faith for a great player to come here and show that this is something that they want to be a part of, and we can bring that championship mentality. A leap of faith to think that a great player would want to come to Chicago. Oh boy.
What made things even worse was that the front office had already gone all in for Reese. Chicago traded for Ariel Atkins to provide veteran leadership specifically for her development. Draft picks were sacrificed. Roster moves were made. Yet Reese still went public, saying it wasn't enough. The organization invested in her vision, and she responded by dismissing it in front of the entire league. Vandersloot's calm response showed the difference between real leadership and entitlement. Veterans began questioning whether Reese understood what leadership actually required. And that doubt started spreading fast.
Rely on Courtney to come back at that age that she's at, Reese said. I know she'll be a great asset for us, but we can't rely on that. We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who's been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before. Courtney Vandersloot, by the way, 2-time WNBA champion, 5-time All-Star, 2-time All-WNBA first team, left the New York Liberty, a championship caliber team, to come help out the Chicago. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, dang. Oh, damn. It's all right, Courtney.
Rachel Bannum summed up the locker room exhaustion perfectly when she said, "I'm just so over all of this." That wasn't frustration, that was burnout. Ariel Atkins, the very player brought in to help Reese, acknowledged the issue publicly, saying the team was aware and addressing it. Even head coach Tyler Marsh labeled the situation an organizational matter from the top down. Sources revealed the locker room fractured almost immediately. A players-only meeting had to be scheduled just to deal with Reese's remarks. When trust cracks at that level, it's hard to repair.
How many players are going to listen to what Angel Reese had to say about Courtney Vandersloot? Are going to listen to what Angel Reese had to say about her current teammates? How many players are going to say, oh yeah, I want to play with that player who has no problem throwing me under the bus with 3 games to go. I want to play with that. Maybe not many.
Reese didn't just criticize the roster. She broadcast to the entire league that her teammates weren't good enough. That kind of message doesn't fade quietly. Players began questioning whether their so-called star actually wanted to play with them or simply wanted replacements. Championship chemistry became impossible. How do you sacrifice for someone who's already labeled you the problem? Reese's words poisoned the well before the season even had a chance to reset.
Angel Reese wants nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the Chicago Sky. We know Angel Reese wants nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the Chicago Sky. She's been trying to force her way out. She refused to go into games down the stretch at the end of the season. And it seems like she's been trying to force her way out.
Then came the biggest contradiction of all. While Reese demanded excellence from others, she couldn't consistently show up herself. Her injury status became a weekly mystery, listed as day-to-day with no clarity. Coaches couldn't plan. Teammates didn't know who would suit up. And while the team struggled, Reese was traveling to Indiana promoting her Reebok sneakers, hyping brand launches, and taking shots at Caitlin Clark, all while her team was getting blown out. Fans began calling her the vanishing Barbie, disappearing whenever accountability showed up. If this part shocked you, make sure you're subscribed. It gets worse.
It's looking spooky in Chicago. Instead of Reese said she doesn't believe her teammates Rachel Berman or Haley Van Lith are capable of leading them to the leading the playoff team. Guard Ariel Atkins is another player on the Sky roster with WNBA championship experience. We are aware of it, Marsh stated. We are addressing.
Reese played just 3 games over a 3-week stretch before Chicago was eliminated from playoff contention. All 3 losses by an average of 18 points. The Sky desperately needed wins, and their star was nowhere to be found. The secrecy around her injury only fueled frustration. Meanwhile, Reese piled up 8 technical fouls, triggering an automatic suspension. The final tech came after striking Aaliyah Edwards during a rebound battle. The suspension landed right before a highly anticipated matchup with Indiana. When the team needed composure most, Reese lost control, and it cost them.
Bottom of your screen. The contact by Reese. You can see Angel's right hand got Aaliyah Edwards on the head. And if they do, Lisa, I'm okay with that too, because I think you have to officiate these teams very tightly.
So it'll be a technical foul on Angel.
Chicago eventually took stronger action, suspending Reese for conduct detrimental to the team following league-mandated media comments. The wording alone said everything. Yet the half-game suspension exposed the organization's dilemma: discipline versus ticket sales. And here's the harsh truth. The Sky looked better without her. Ball movement improved. Possessions were cleaner. Reese led the league in turnovers despite missing large chunks of the season. Instead of solutions, her presence often created chaos.
20% of the time, Angel Reese gets her shot blocked inside of 9 feet. And 100% of the time, she's doggy doo-doo. Burn! Give it to the lady in orange. Uh-oh, you're out. Simon didn't say. 101 turnovers in 26 games for our 2K cover. She's a stat stuffer. Burn! At least she always brings the boom. I'll see you tomorrow night. Burn!
Teammates began questioning Reese's priorities. She demanded upgrades while being selectively unavailable. Veterans who had built winning cultures watched her prioritize branding over basketball. A players-only meeting to address basic loyalty should never be necessary. but here they were. Reliability is the foundation of team sports, and Reese shattered it. Coaches couldn't plan. Players couldn't trust. Fans couldn't believe. Chicago learned that talent without accountability creates dysfunction every single time.
Fever destroy the Chicago Sky in Indianapolis on Saturday. Guess who wasn't there? Angel Reese. Angel Reese declined to travel to Indianapolis, and her coach came out and said something about, she's just focused on her rehab right now, and, she's day to day. We've never had an explanation on what caused the back injury, what's a time frame for her recovery. It's similar to so-and-so's back injury. This is something she struggled with here or there. All we've heard is day-to-day, and Angel Reese has disappeared.
Caitlin Clark showed the entire league what real leadership looks like during Indiana's transformation, and the contrast couldn't be sharper. From day one, Clark handled adversity with transparency and accountability. When she suffered an ear injury that directly affected her hearing during games, she didn't hide behind vague updates or mystery timelines. She explained the situation openly to the media and to fans. No excuses. No confusion. The Fever always knew exactly where Clark stood physically and mentally, which allowed coaches to plan, teammates to prepare, and the organization to move forward with confidence. Even when Clark couldn't play, she never disappeared. She traveled with the team, sat on the bench during games, stayed locked into every possession, and remained emotionally invested. During timeouts, she leaned into coaches' huddles, talked through coverages, encouraged teammates who were struggling, and stayed present as a leader. Clark showed up to every practice she could attend and made sure her teammates felt supported regardless of whether she was on the floor or not. That kind of consistency builds trust, something Chicago never had. Her public comments created the exact opposite culture from the toxic environment in Chicago. Clark constantly lifted her teammates instead of tearing them down. She praised Aaliyah Boston's defensive growth and rebounding consistency. She highlighted Lexi Hull's three-point shooting and openly called her one of the most reliable players on the roster. When Kelsey Mitchell had big performances, Clark made sure everyone knew how much unseen work Mitchell put in behind the scenes. Clark never positioned herself above the group. She elevated the group. "I'm proud of this group," Clark said. "They're resilient. They're connected. They pull for one another. They celebrate each other. That alone is worth 10 to 12 points a game. The way we share the ball, how unselfish we are, I couldn't be more proud. It hasn't been ideal circumstances all season, but they've shown who they are. They've responded to adversity, and they continue to elevate one another." Those weren't empty words. They were reflected on the court every night. The chemistry Clark built with Kelsey Mitchell became legendary around the league. They stayed after practice refining pick-and-roll timing and spacing. Clark respected Mitchell's experience, while Mitchell helped Clark adjust to the pace and physicality of the pro game. There was no competition for spotlight, only collaboration. That mutual respect translated directly into wins. Aaliyah Boston's development under Clark's leadership proved how powerful positive influence can be. Boston went from struggling with confidence to becoming one of the league's most dependable bigs. Clark fed her early touches to establish rhythm and celebrated Boston's defensive stops like game-winning shots. Boston responded by protecting Clark on screens, running the floor harder, and crashing the boards with purpose. Their connection became a foundation. Lexi Hull's breakout season happened for the same reason. Clark drew constant double teams and trusted Hull to make defenses pay. Instead of forcing shots, Clark found Hull in her comfort zones and believed in her. Hull rewarded that trust by becoming one of the most efficient shooters in the league. Clark's unselfishness created opportunities that benefited everyone. Indiana's coaching staff reinforced that culture, emphasizing character, selflessness, and accountability in roster construction. The result was one of the most connected teams in the league. Fans felt it immediately. Attendance numbers exploded. Arenas sold out, not just because of Clark's individual brilliance, but because people wanted to watch a team that genuinely enjoyed playing together. Indiana's unexpected playoff push happened because Clark built winning habits from day one. She demanded excellence from herself before expecting anything from teammates. She showed up early, stayed late, and made everyone around her better through effort and example. Brands followed because leadership attracts opportunity. Clark's endorsements came after she proved herself as a reliable professional, not before. Meanwhile, Chicago's decision to name Kamilla Cardoso Player of the Year over Angel Reese delivered the final message. The Sky chose consistency over chaos, reliability over noise, leadership over ego. Cardoso showed up every day and supported her teammates. Reese burned bridges with public criticism and unreliable availability. So now the question is unavoidable. Should the Chicago Sky trade Angel Reese? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like the video, subscribe to Court Queens, turn on notifications, and click the video on your screen. We'll see you in the next one.